Welcome, guys, to our Tech Talk. We're excited to be here and talking about two of our favorite topics, increasing revenue and market share. So I'm Cheryl Messner. I work with a talented group of product managers at Poly. We are, I've been in the industry 20 years, been in the pricing engine space specifically for 17 of those. So obviously, really passionate about the problems we're solving, our customers, and then be really excited to be a part of the Poly team that's really disrupting the industry. So I'd like to introduce Rob Pieklo.
Said it right. Said it right. We were talking about if she's going to say it wrong or not out there.
Rob P. President and CEO of AFR and Eland. And Rob, he started his career at AFR and recently rejoined as part of the acquisition. So we'd love to hear more about your journey.
Thank you. Thank you first to the CMBA and to Kevin. I'm glad he didn't slap my butt like he did the other guy before, so I'm glad for that. And I'm looking forward. I know that he's here, so we don't get our LinkedIn update. The Fed was talking today, and we didn't get Kevin's update, so I'm looking forward to seeing that later today. I'm sure he'll do it from outside where it's beautiful. But AFR, it's been a full circle journey for me. 2003, I started in the business. I was just a baby back then, and started as an originator, ran a team, and long story longer. Bought into the company in 2008 in the middle of a crisis. That was fun. So that was trying to explain that to the family, and then got an opportunity to do things that I probably shouldn't have been allowed to do. So I was able to oversee things that I was not qualified to oversee, and really got to run capital markets, and then ended up selling back to the partners in 2018. Ran originations for a large servicer that was publicly traded, distressed. Sold that company in 2019. And then opened a tiny broker shop, which was fun. So it went from 1.5 billion a month to like 1.5 loans a month, which was a lot of fun, a little different perspective. Fell in love with the broker channel, knew I was going to do something in that channel, got as much information as I possibly could about competitors, or now competitors, but the investors and lenders that are out there, and had an opportunity to come back and work with a fund to purchase AFR. We did that about a year ago, a little more than a year ago. It took a year to close the deal, and then ended up coming back to my old stomping grounds of AFR.
Yes, love that. All right, we're going to get into a little bit of Q&A. So Rob, based on the current market and tech landscape, what dynamics or trends are defining mortgage as we round out 2025?
Okay, all right, so 2025, based on this conference, which has been awesome, this has been incredible panels and demos, and then the 5,000 LinkedIn messages that I get a week, I'm gonna say AI. Have we said that? There's no drinking
Crazy.
Game of AI, right?
Right.
Like, as you say AI. But what's gonna shape 2025 really for all of us isn't AI, that's inevitable. It's how we implement and how we deploy it, and who you're working with, and one area of caution I tell every leader in the mortgage space is be cautious of who you partner with, and you want to find your partners as you try to grow, and you have to pick your spots where you find the best, obviously, ROI for the deployment and how you implement it. Just layering technology on old, terrible processes is just not going to work in this new age. So I know collaboration is big with our partners. We work with Poly, and I bug the hell out of Adam and the team of my crazy ideas. And you guys have a lot of things going on the AI front. Would love to hear what you guys are doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So we really took a step back, right, and looked at all the different personas using the software. And based on our collaboration with customers and what they wanted to see, we really are focused in on the kind of originator experience. And specifically, there's so much data, right, that we're processing. We're getting a borrower's profile, and then we're returning, the best price and the best products based on what that originator is looking for. But what do they not know? What products are not returning? So being able to surface that data and say, hey, you weren't even looking for this particular program, but it might be a better fit for you. Another kind of way that we're looking at this that I'm really excited about is pricing. So again, your traditional pricing engines will returning your best pricing and your best product based on that borrower's profile, but being able to say, hey, I know that you're saying that this is your profile, but did you know if you tweak these small little areas, you can significantly save money for your borrowers and close that deal. So those are things that customers are really excited about, we're excited about, and how we're leveraging AI in the system. All right, perfect. So next question. Obviously, AFR has seen significant growth since the acquisition. I think I read 300% increase in the last year. So I'd love to talk about your growth. What have you done to gain market share and scale?
I feel like you scraped that off my LinkedIn posts that I do all the time.
Absolutely.
So, the growth story has been fantastic. I'm very proud of it. I think it's actually up to 400% after last month and the way we're trending now. And it's been 13 months. We've grown significantly. I'm most proud of the team and what we've done in the wholesale arena. We've grown that channel about 700% over the last year. So, basically what we did was we kind of flipped things upside down. In general, secondary managers and capital markets teams that we have here, they kind of get the production in, and then they find the best execution for what they have. And we chose a different route. We flipped it upside down. And yeah, you take some risk and you may take some losses initially because you're not getting the scale or volume that you need. But we went out to the street. We went out to the street and found the best acts for everything that's out there and tried to figure out how do we deploy that into our rate sheets? How do we bug the hell out of Poly to get every single piece to this, from note rate adjustments to which coupon slotting, MSR changes, par rates, all those things. How do we get that to the front end? How do we get it to the broker community? How do we get it to LOs? How do we price and find little pockets that we can compete? I can't compete with the 7x or 6.5x these other big guys are getting in MSR values, so I have to find different pockets, and we have fantastic execution in some of the smaller loan balances, so we took advantage of that. We had incredible acts on investor and non-owner occupied or second homes. We took advantage of that. We were first to market to start pricing those things more aggressively and get share that way. And then once people kind of got in the door, the growth just happened. So that continued to kind of snowball, and while you do that, you have to deploy technology, and we focus everything on the customer, very similar to what we do with Poly, and they focus on us, and I focus on my customer. We did everything customer-based first, and then kind of dealt with the back end of things and focused on the customer, and we've been able to deploy technology strategically. We're nowhere near where we're going to be in the next 6 or 12 months, but we did that volume growth with a less than 15% headcount increase. So to do that scale and that type of volume with just process changes, strategic technology, and Poly's one of those partners that we've been working with, and taking resources that were dealing with locks and all the different mundane tasks during the day and deploying them to other areas of the business has been huge in our growth.
Yeah, and AFR really is a picture-perfect customer, leveraging all of the automation, leveraging our APIs, and really just using the system to its fullest. And just like AFR, our other lenders, we're seeing move away from legacy processes and systems that really have contributed to operational inefficiencies. So being able to partner with our customers and really just assist them in being able to implement and execute a strategy at scale. And that's from all different layers, and again, going back to personas, right? When we talk about capital markets, being able to set margin strategies that can move quickly with market conditions, and really getting granular. So being able to slice and dice that data, be able to set margins from the coupon, note rate, loan amount, all different layers, and not having to create a bunch of different rules, if you will, or different margins that you then have to go update, kind of maintaining that all in a nice, efficient, streamlined process as far as like implementing it and then updating that and taking that even a step further and being able to like parse data out of a spreadsheet and just update literally hundreds of data points within seconds. It is one thing, obviously that our customers really love about the system and helps you guys scale, right? And then you layer on the lock desk persona and being able to implement all of the automation and things like pipeline monitoring, where we're pulling in data and keeping, our integrations and the data in sync in real time, and even automating that. So being able to auto update pricing based on those data changes. So. Great. So last question as we wrap here, I want to turn it over to you, Rob. What do you see as the biggest opportunity to optimize revenue, and what's the biggest mistake you see companies making right now?
Optimize revenue. Okay, it's going to be a tough one. If there's any secondary people in here, I'm going to say it, and I apologize. Not really. Don't be lazy. don't be lazy. It is that simple. Right now, it's easy. It's easy to blend. It's easy to take your MSR values and take these spec values and these other things that we have and just kind of blend it, throw it in a rate sheet, and just hope and make the rate sheet easy and set it and forget it. That's not the environment we're living in anymore. The spec stories have grown significantly. These stories that used to be just a couple things on loan balance are now, basically anything you can think of is getting sliced and diced, and there's a better execution out there for it. It used to be up to $125,000 loan balances. Now we're up to 350 in the spec stories that are out there. Now there's stories for FHA-only pools. There's story for USDA-only pools. So there's so many different things happening in the market, and it's just real easy to be lazy. It's real easy. So it's a pain. We work with Polly on a daily basis, and I, send notes in, and my team hates me. I know they like me, but they hate me. And we make so many changes, and we have to get these changes ingested into PPEs everywhere. It's key. It's key right now. It's the only way that we can compete with the big guys, because they're slower and they're not moving and they're not doing this kind of dynamic pricing model that we have. You look at my rate sheets today, even with the help of Polly, it's going to make your head spin. But there's a reason. We want to be able to execute and pass through the best parts of execution and what we see on the street to the originators and to the broker community for us. So that's something we've worked on. And the thing I see the most, where companies are kind of messing up, is their technology layering. And they're doing what I mentioned before, which is, I've even seen people take really bad processes like the old mortgage process model and throw AI bots to do those terrible manual tasks. And I know that's technically saving, but we're in a moment in time where we should be re-engineering the entire mortgage process, everything. We're talking about roles, like the role of an underwriter, of a processor, of account managers, closers. That's out the door. That's not something that we should be building right now. We should be reinventing the entire process. And we're not seeing companies do that. We're seeing companies just layer technology onto the old processes and the old roles. And that's just something that I think we're seeing companies make that mistake too often. And again, partners are very important. And if you're going to build on your own and build something yourself, for us, we've been building things that is more about the proprietary things that we know our customers want, that we don't necessarily want to share with everybody, and then using vendors that have some great products to kind of layer in things that we know are going to gain significant traction in terms of the manufacturing cost. That's where we're hell-bent and focused in on right now, is getting that cost down, because that's how you're going to also compete with some of the larger players out there, is driving that manufacturing cost down. And again, by LinkedIn posts and messages that you see out there, I'm going to assume the Q1 data for cost to complete is going to go down significantly based on the emails I receive and how much savings is out there. But we know it's not true. We know we're going to see the MBA data come out, and it's going to show the same thing, that $10,000, $15,000, or $10,000 to $12,000 cost to originate, with it being maybe $5,000 or $4,000 going towards commissions. The rest is the manufacturing process. So eventually something has to give. That cost to complete has to come down, and the deployment of technology is going to help that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love to speaking really to challenge your technology providers, and change drives innovation, and don't be afraid to understand what's out there, know what's out there, and don't settle, right? Make sure that your tech provider is listening to you when they're building software or releasing enhancements and new features. Are they not only building and releasing to solve today's problems, but are they building in a way that's going to assist you in scaling your company and your organization? So.
Yeah, and just to add to that, obviously, is the collaboration piece. And when you're choosing a vendor and talking about what you're building, instead of being told how you're going to deploy something or how you're going to do something, how you're going to process something, being in the room, being able to discuss and talk through what is best for your business, your vision. And don't give up on that vision. If you have I have some lofty goals. They're pretty bad. I don't know if we'll be able to achieve them, but I know that I can't go and just say I'm going to take this out of the box solution and just move forward with it. We're going to go ahead and we're going to try and change the game. And we have these ideas, we have these thoughts about the process, the way things should work. And when I hear vendors say, no, that's not what our customers do. That's not what we're doing. I say pass. We don't work with those vendors. We want to work with partners and people that want to build things that are different. And yeah, they might fail, but that's okay. That's okay for us. We're challenging kind of the status quo, the old guard of what's in the mortgage business. We know we have a lot of it. It's an aged business. But for us, that choice, that partnership choice is so vital in what we're doing and what we're trying to build going forward. And choosing what we're going to build ourselves versus what we're going to use partners for, and knowing which parts are going to be commoditized in the future. I made the mistake back in 2013 and 14 of building a lender portal or a borrower portal, spending millions of dollars on the portal, and then like when I opened my broker shop, I got a better service for like $80 a month, right? There's parts of and components of what we're going to be doing that's going to be commoditized, and we want to make sure that you're deploying your dollars effectively and changing the process.
Well, I'm so excited to be here with you, so grateful for you, and really, as you mentioned, our customers are the key to Poly's success, and we love our collaboration and our deep, meaningful relationships. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you all for your time. I would love to see you out at happy hour, have a drink, and talk about, the industry.
Great. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.